Hey everyone, welcome to the Productive Dev. My name is Alyssa, and in today's video, we're going to talk about 7 free terminals that you can use to help you boost your workflow. So this is based on an article that I wrote 3 years ago now, which is crazy to think. And actually, all of the items on this list, surprisingly, are still relevant today, with the exception of the first item here, Fig, which is actually a tool I used to use. So instead of downloading a new terminal, Fig would integrate with your existing terminal, and Fig is no more because Amazon acquired it and I think has some new thing that they use with it that I no longer use. So RIP Fig. This is the only other option that I had on here that is now obsolete. But let's go into the main options that we have now. And first up is Warp. Warp, candidly, is the terminal that I use now. Once I left Fig when they closed down, I switched to Warp and it is really powerful. Let's see, it talks about now they've kind of gotten into this agentic development environment. Not sure if they're trying to compete with like Claude Code and stuff like that now, but when I started using it, it was just really good at like AI, autocomplete stuff. But now, they're trying to make it so that you don't even need to leave the terminal if you don't want to. Actually, we'll open up my Warp instance and show you really quick. So it has, this kind of like ghosting of like previous commands that you've used. I use that all the time. You can just press the arrow key and that'll kind of auto-complete it. And then, yeah, it has an idea of like what previous commands I've run. So like I did a video on Get Work Trees a few weeks back. So it has an idea, again, showing me that ghosting of letters, what I can do. You can ask the AI questions and stuff. It's a really great terminal, highly customizable. You have your panes and all that, which I think most terminals have these days. But Warp is a really great option. It's one that I use and really like. So next up on the list is going to be Hyper. So Hyper, is an Electron-based terminal. I actually tried Hyper probably back in 2018, 2019. I really liked it because the way that you customize it, let me see if I can find an example. I go all the way down. I can't find one here, but customizing it is like pretty easy. You just kind of do like, I think a JSON file type of thing. And it's just, okay, here we go. Here's an example. You type in your plugins and then, it's just really like just a JS file that you can edit. And I really liked kind of that ability to just customize it very easily, very natively to what I'm used to being a JavaScript developer. But man, the one thing about it was that it was super slow. And it was slow, not even running commands that were like particularly computationally heavy. It was just like, if I'm working in a large repo or something and you do like ls or something, it would be slower. Just running, I don't know, just basic commands were a little too slow for me. And I'm not one that needs to have like blazing fast, but even for me, it just didn't work, even though I really liked how easy it was to customize and stuff. But Hyper, I've heard of some people who really like it. I think it's maybe maintained by the team at Vercel, so a solid team behind it. So definitely a good, solid option if you're looking for that. Okay, so third on the list is iTerm 2. So this is the OG. It's been around a long time. This is actually the terminal that I used before I switched to Warp. So I think I was using iTerm, then I went to Hyper, then I went back to iTerm 2. And so, yeah, it's solid. I mean, I don't know why the website looks like it's from the early 2000s, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's a solid choice. It's been around a long time. Like I said, I used it for a while. The main reason I switched away is that I found that the customization of it was really hard. Like I never quite understood how to customize it. Like I kind of had to Google a lot to figure out. It had this like .plist file or something. It was just very hard to customize. Like once I got it the way I got it, it was good, and I would just try and save it. But I wanted something that was a little bit easier to kind of manage and use more advanced features. So, but nothing against iTerm 2. It's great. It's just I just felt like, okay, with all the the terminal getting a lot more love these days. It's been around for decades and decades, and lots of new things kind of coming out. I felt, okay, let me maybe try something else. But iTerm 2 is a solid option used by a lot of different people. Okay, so next on the list we have Alacritty. Alacritty is one I've heard really good things about. It's a modern terminal emulator that comes with sensible defaults, but allows for extensive configuration. So I've heard really good things about it. I think it's very lightweight. I have not used Alacritty myself personally, but people who, YouTubers and stuff that I've watched who are very good at the terminal, I've seen use it. I think it's very, like I said, it's very customizable, lightweight. And don't know. I don't know too much about it, but I know Alacritty is a solid option if you're looking for that, and I think highly customizable. I believe they also have a very simple config file that you can do. I think maybe one of the complaints I might have heard about Alacritty from somebody who used it is that it maybe wasn't batteries included enough, and so you have to kind of set up more things that maybe other, I think, terminals give you by default. So, like, I'm not sure if they have, pains and stuff. Maybe if you use TMUX and things like that, it's not an issue. But yeah, anyway, Alacritty is a solid option that I've heard good things about. Okay, next on the list is Kitty, which touts itself as the fast, feature-rich, GPU-based terminal emulator. I don't know many people that use Kitty. Again, I've heard that it's pretty fast. I believe it has a pretty solid following. But like I said, can't try everything on this list, but Kitty is one that I've heard is really good. It's open source, as I believe most of these terminals are. And I believe it's supposed to be super duper fast. It deals with images really well. Yeah, you can just install it via curl command. So yeah, Kitty is another solid option if you're looking for that. Next on the list is Tabby. And Tabby is one, I don't remember how I came across this one, but this is one that I don't really hear a lot of people talk about. I went into the GitHub page. It is still actively maintained. So, but this is another open source alternative. I think it looks, at least from the, the landing page, it looks really cool. I never got around to trying this one, but just the colors look really great. It looks like it's very customizable. Looks like it has a lot of different features. SSH, Windows, but nice. I like that. Like it looks like you can use it at a basic level, but you can also get pretty advanced with it if you want. And it allows you to customize it. Yeah, and here we go into the features section. A lot of different colors, smart tabs, customizable hotkeys, all that kind of stuff. So it looks like you can do like font ligatures, things like that. So split tabs. So yeah, this looks like a very solid option. I don't know why I don't see a lot of people talk about it for some reason, but this is one you can check out if you need to. All right. And next on the list is Ghostty. So Ghostty I've been hearing a lot about lately. I have not used Ghostty, but yeah, I've just heard some really, really great things about it. I think it's really fast. And then looks like there's install Ghostty and run, 0 configuration required to get up and running, which is kind of nice. So you can just download it and just start working with it. Whereas some of these other solutions maybe require you to, although very flexible, require you to do more manual setup. Yeah, and if you go here, it looks like, let's see, 0 configuration. Looks like the syntax for their configuration files, maybe just a key value pair. So that's really nice. I always like to see configuration files that make it easy for you to just get up and running. So I'm sure they have a myriad of different options that you can use. But yeah, I'm not super well versed in Ghostty, but I've just heard really good things about it. So I think it's a nice one to consider. Okay, I'm actually going to include a bonus terminal because as I was recording this, I remembered one that I heard about from a YouTube video I watched. And this one's called WezTerm. I don't know too much about it, but it touts that it is a powerful cross-platform terminal emulator and multiplexer. So written by @Wez. And it's implemented in Rust, so it's going to be fast. So I guess probably if you're in the terminal a lot, this might be a really good option to consider. Maybe if you use TMUX, those kind of things. I use the terminal a lot, but I'm not in there I'm not a Vim user or anything like that. But this is another good option to consider. It looks like it's, it's highly configurable. Let's see, it looks like it's a Lua. Yeah, so I guess if you're like a heavy Vim user, I know a lot of Vim configuration stuff uses Lua. At least that's what I've learned from watching the Primeagen and all that stuff. So this is another good option to consider. Okay, so those are actually, I was going to say 8 terminal tools to check out. It's really cool to see how much love that the terminal space is getting. The terminal's been around for decades upon decades, right? And for a while there, it really wasn't getting much attention. I would say probably the last 5 years or so, 3 to 5 years, is really when we start to see Fig and Warp and all these other terminals pop up because, if it's something that we use a lot, it's great that if we can have tools that make us a little more efficient in there. So I hope that this video highlighted some terminals that maybe you've heard of or maybe some you haven't, and maybe you can check some of them out. Let me know if you use any of these terminals on the list, and I will catch you on the next video.